Hi again and welcome back. I hope you are all well. If this is your first time here, then hello, it is lovely to meet you, and if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name is Alana and I'm a 35-year-old woman living in Scotland who loves beauty, skincare, makeup, hair care, travelling, vlogging, blogging, bullshit, let's face it. But I do love a liberal sprinkling of sarcasm, cynicism and honesty thrown in on top. I do like the words fuck, shite and bugger. I love the odd sweary word on this channel. It just flows off my tongue sometimes. If you're not into that, I completely understand. Please feel free to vacate at any point. But if it does sound like your cup of tea, there's a subscription button in the corner. Give a thumbs up. Do all that YouTuber bullshit people ask you to do. Now, today's video is going to be bougie or budget. Budget versus bougie, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I picked up a lot of stuff from the drugstore recently. I have created this look today. One half of my face is completely covered in budget beauty from the drugstore, and I'm talking about the majority of it is really budget, as in like 17 Cosmetics, Rimmel, Elf. There's a little bit of Revolution thrown in as well. And I think I had to use the Physicians Formula bronzer because I actually, honestly, just didn't want to buy a new bronzer from budget because I didn't need it. I didn't need it. And this you can get in the drugstore. And then on the other side of my face, I have got all kind of high-end to luxurious products. We've got some Chanel, we've got some Charlotte, we have some other like indie brands such as Kaleidos, we also have some Rare Beauty, stuff like that as well, Bodyography, things like that. So, looking at my face at the moment, do you think you could tell which side is which? Now, I know the colour doesn't match perfectly because I have had to use products that do not have a perfect colour match, but the overall look is very similar on each side. The shape might not be, but that's because I'm not a makeup artist and I've tried my best. But overall, the finished look, I feel, doesn't look that dissimilar. Not really. There are things that as you watch the video you will see that I struggle with and I've had to make work and things like that. Some things are the high-end stuff that I struggled with, if I'm honest with you. But do you think at the moment you would know which side was which? Which side is the high-end and which side is the budget? Just have a wee pause here for a moment. Comment down below, let me know what you think at this stage. So I'm going to start off with eyes. Now for the eyes, I could not get exact dupes. I picked up a couple of things in the shape of like a crayon style thing, and I picked up this from Rimmel. I think I already mentioned this in the Watch New Wednesday, which was like a shadow and liner 2-in-1 situation. But obviously I wasn't going to go and start buying all the bougie stuff to match the budget stuff because that would just be absolutely bonkers. So what I have done is pick out some bougie stuff that I've got that I think the end result will give me something quite similar on either side, but the actual products themselves might not be like for like with the budget stuff. Okay, so I've zoomed you in nice and close. Now I'm going to take a Nyx Jumbo Pencil thing. These have been about forever, they are not new, and I'm just going to take this and put this down as a bit of a base, and this colour is Blueberry Pop, but it's a really kind of navy colour. I thought it would be a nice bit of a base to pop that Rimmel 2-in-1 shadow liner thing over the top of. So I'm going to do this the way I would any of the other kind of pencil stick type things you've ever seen me use on this channel. I'm going to put it on the mobile lid first, and I'm then going to go in with a brush. This is a fluffy brush, but it's got a little bit of stiffness to it as well. It doesn't matter what brushes you're using, but use whatever brushes you have. You don't have to buy new brushes, use what you've got. Just, I feel you need one with a little bit of stiffness to move a product like this about a little without it being too fluffy. You could use like a more classic packing brush as well if you wanted. Personally, for my shape of eye, I quite like one like this because it allows me just to move the shadow about my lid with ease. It's becoming more sheer as I pat at it, but that's not a problem. This is just really your base you want to put down first. I'm just going to take a little bit of that here because I think it has got a little patchy in areas, but listen, I've used way more expensive products that have done a similar thing. Sometimes it is just about building up a bit of colour rather than actually, you know, thinking the product is a one and done situation. I think with darker colours as well, you're always going to have to do a little bit of building. It's never quite as simple as lighter, paler colours. Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave it at the moment. I know it looks terrible, don't worry, we'll get there. Now on this eye, I am going to take something from Chanel, which is obviously very expensive. It's basically a long-wear liquid eyeshadow, but this is in Eau Noir, so it's like a black, but it's a black, as you can see there, with a little bit of a gold shift through it. So it's not going to be perfection, but my plan is to use this from Makeup Forever, which as you can see is a navy, and it is a liner. I'm going to mix the two on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to go in with a brush again and try and place that on my eye. Now that is what I've made on the back of my hand there, so it is a little bit more blue, it is a little bit more painty, so I can tell right now it's going to probably look deeper than this side, but we're going to give it a little bash. I'm going to go back in with the blueberry one because that is a lot darker. They are a different colour slightly, but I'm going to put shadows on top as well, so try not to worry. I'm going to just take the Chanel and put it kind of straight on my lid in the middle here, because I think mixing it, that Makeup Forever eyeliner is an Aqua XL one, and it means that it's like waterproof, so when it's stopped moving, it's not very easy to mobilise on the lid. So on this side, the budget shade, on the budget side, we're going to go in with this from Revolution XX. Now, I have a video all about this palette in particular and how much I hated it. I did not enjoy this palette. It looks absolutely beautiful, but I did not enjoy these shadows. So I am using these with caution, just as a little bit of something to add and set this on top. But this is not going to be the main look, because when I used this before, I was not super duper impressed. I'm just going to very lightly place some shadow across the top of that blueberry, and as I said, it is really just to set it. Okay, so that's just put on a little bit of a blowout eye on this side. Now on this eye, I do not have, I've got Pat McGrath palettes, but I don't have any blue high-end eyeshadows. I've got one Pat McGrath one. Should I go and get that? But they're not matte. So what I'm going to take is an indie brand palette instead. You can't get this anymore, so just to show you that you can kind of get the same look with budget stuff. Now I do feel this is obviously much darker on this side, so again I'm going to go back in with that Revolution palette and just try and even this up a little bit. So far I actually really like the look of this a lot better than the other side. This side is looking as patchy as shit, but I don't think that is the product's fault. I'm using them in a slightly different way, but so far this is super patchy. It certainly isn't this eyeshadow's fault, because I've used these eyeshadows before and they've turned out really nice. I think it's this. If I'm honest with you, I don't think it's a very good product. I've said that already, I don't have to say it again. It's not great, and it's from Chanel. Okay, so we're gonna ignore this shit eye at the moment and hope we can salvage it in a minute. But I'm gonna take this from Rimmel. This is the, what's it actually called? The Wonder Swipe 2-in-1 liner to shadow, and what I'm going to do is just go all over the top of the lid with this. It is like a liquid liner style, and you could do a very fine line here, but the look of the sheen that you get off this I feel is quite similar to that of Blue Morpho from Bodyography. Please remember, this video isn't a one is better than the other type of video. I'm just trying to show you that what you get in the drugstore you can create fantastic and interesting looks with as well. You do not have to go out and spend an inordinate amount of money to get an effective look. So I'm gonna just take the same brush, I've cleaned it off, but the same brush I used on this eye, and just pat that over the top here so I can move some of that shadow about a little. And actually I think this looks rather fantastic. This stuff's pretty good, I like this. It also came in a really interesting emerald green colour as well. I'm just going to bring it right up. We'll do something a little 80s, we'll bring it up right into the brow here, but that's a really, really pretty shimmer there. Let me zoom you right in. There we go. I'm hoping that you can see the shift on that. That is so beautiful. Look at that shift. That's really, really nice. And that is from Rimmel for $6.99 I think it was, but I bought them when they had an offer on Rimmel and it was 3 for 2 or something like that. So that ain't half bad. Now on this eye, we're gonna try and salvage something. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, again, from the Club Nebula palette, I'm gonna take this one here, which is Astro, And I'm gonna just stamp that across a wee bit because I think it'll bring it back to being a slightly closer colour to this side, and then I might go in with the Bodyography. Okay, so on this side, I'm going to put on Bodyography's Blue Morpho, which is just divine. It is really, really beautiful colour. And it has a little bit closer to this blue colour that's running through this one. That's really what it reminded me of when I seen it in Boots. This will pull it much closer to this colour. There, and I'm hoping you can see there. The base is not the same, okay, the shadows are not exact, but by using this product from Rimmel, how similar it has managed to pull that colour to. I'm really hoping you can see that. Now they are much more alike than they ever were throughout the rest of this video. What I will do is try and go in and tidy that up at another stage so that they look a little bit more even with regards to shape. Now I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the dark blue here just to join it up to what was going on up above. And again, I'm going to take the Revolution palette and go in with the blue under here again just to join it. And then underneath, I'm just going to take some of that Rimmel again and pop it under here. I just want to kind of hit right on that tear duct area and just pull that along ever so slightly. What I will say is, you know, like duochromes, like this is a beautiful, this is amazing considering it's from the drugstore. But what I will say is, see like if I wanted a white pop of blue in this corner, I don't think, maybe I'm looking in the wrong place, but I couldn't find anything like that to put in like a white or something up here. I couldn't find anything like that. So again, I'm going to go in with Blue Morpho on this side and just put that in about the same area. Maybe because this is a pigment powder, I don't feel it's as popping as much as this side. So what I might do is go in with a little bit of Danessa in Blue Moon, one of the highlights from the Lightworks mini palette. And I'm going to just pop that right in there. I just think it's going to make it pop a little bit more. There, that's now a little bit more like highlighty on that side. And as you can see in this corner, I don't really have that because I did feel I would struggle to find something like that in the drugstore. I'm going to take the highlighter pencil that I picked up, which is not in the right shade, I know, but I just found there was nothing really like that from the drugstore. So I'm just going to pop that in there. I might even pop a little bit more of the Rimmel, so it's gave me a little bit of a highlight. It's nothing bad, it just doesn't match this pop. I'm struggling to find that. As I said, if anybody does find that stuff in the drugstore, let me know, and let me know what country you're from as well. Let me know if you're from the UK or not, because I find that things like that in the UK at the moment for drugstore brands are a little more difficult to find. And there we go, that actually does not now look too shabby at all. That's good. So while we've got you zoomed in, why don't we just do some brows? So I'm just going to brush mine up. This side I have got something from 17. Now, there are a million drugstore brow products that I could recommend to you. The e.l.f. Brow Fix is a very, very good like laminated brow look. e.l.f. Wow Brow is another one that is a fantastic drugstore product. But I wanted to look at this one from 17 because I've never tried it before, and this is their Precise Definition Tinted Gel. So I'm just going to run that through, and the other reason that I picked this one up is because actually I think this one is more akin to that of the Glossy Boy Brow Wand than that of the Wow Brow. I haven't used this before, so this will be an experience. Okay. Alright, that's alright. Obviously I can't really tell you like does it hold up all day or anything because this is the first time I'm trying it. What I will say is I feel it's a little, what colour did I get? Just brown? Yeah, just brown. It's a little warm toned. It's a little orangey, slightly. And I feel like actually it's pulling, it's catching a lot of hairs right on the top that maybe I don't want it to, but I have very bushy brows, what can I say? Alright, so we're going to leave it there. It looks kind of warm on this camera. Probably will be fine because I've got warmness through my hair. Or warmth through my hair. But that's that through the brows. And I am going to take Glossy Boy Brow. No, tell you what. I'm going to take something else. I'm going to try this from LARAFAYE. I know, I'm probably saying it wrong. but LARAFAYE, I think that's how people say it. This has got a little brush on one end and it has a little pot of stuff on the other end. So I'm going to take that and let's try that. Obviously they are not akin, so if it all just goes completely tits up, I will use Boy Brow and be done with it. This was actually sent to me from a friend, not from PR or anything like that. A friend had said to me like, I'm not using it, do you want to try it? And it's maybe a little light for me. If I remember, this shade is light. It's light. So this is maybe a little light for me. Again, not the product's fault, maybe just the wrong shade. So I'm going to go in with Boy Brow on top of that. Yeah, I think this side is just a little light. Shape wise though, obviously I put glossy Boy Brow through it. Yeah, absolutely fine. Now, mascara. I am going to just give my lashes a little curl. I do have a reel up over on Instagram with lots of different mascaras with nothing on my eyelids. If you want to go and see that, you'll get a better judgment of these mascaras because I have used both of these on that reel. Alright, so on the budget side, I'm going to take the Wonder Volume Thrill Seeker mascara from Rimmel. And on this side, I am going to use the Lancome Lash Idol mascara. Alright, so now that I've zoomed you out, I'm kind of like, is there too much difference on either side? There is very slight colour difference, and yes, there is shape difference. That's me just being shit. I'm not a makeup artist, let's face it. But they're not that different, are they? What I'm going to say as well is that with the mascaras, like this one for instance, this is not a new, like I've just tried this first impressions today. This is something I've been using for about 3 weeks now, I want to say. And I think it's a nice mascara. I think that it's, like, people say Rimmel is a dying brand, right? I think, considering this here, the Wonder Swipe, this is amazing. Like, I am absolutely blown away with this. I think this is wonderful. But I feel like poor old Rimmel are trying to be very, like, on it with the trends, with the kids. Like, when I went into Boots the other day, this was on a stand and it was like, as seen on socials. And I was like, but has it been seen on socials? Because I've not heard anybody speaking about it, if I'm honest with you. But it is a good mascara. Do I think it's better than some others in the drugstore? No. Is it as expensive as some other in the drugstores? No. Is it going to beat the likes of this? I personally think this is better. I think the Lancome Lash Idol is better. It costs a heck of a lot more, obviously. But I would say if you're going to pick a drugstore mascara up, I would get the Maybelline Sky High. Because if you're going to pay, it might be a couple, actually, I'll tell you how much this is. Okay, so the Rimmel mascara is $10.99 in Boots. $10.99 in Boots. So if you're going to get a drugstore mascara, get the one from Maybelline and just pay $11.99, pay £1 more. It's much better. So, you know, if this was a $5, I'd be like, right, okay, it's good. It's a good mascara, it's a good drugstore mascara. But it's $10.99, the Maybelline is much better. Right, skin. Let's talk about skin. Now, I've got the Charlotte Tilbury and I've got the e.l.f. Obviously. Let's do the bad boys. Okay, so we're gonna take this. They are both in shade 2, as far as I can remember, but light, shade light 2 is the one I use in Charlotte Tilbury. So I am going to pop a little bit of this on the higher points of my face rather than all over my face, because I am going to go in with a concealer as well. So I'm going to use this a little bit more pinpointy today, because that is the way I would tend to do it rather than just putting on a load of base down. And I do feel, I've already explained this, this isn't again a new product I'm using. I've tried this and the e.l.f. one for a number of, well, the Charlotte Tilbury I've had for over a year, and the e.l.f. one I've tried for the last couple of months. This is a product that I really enjoy, but what I will say is it's got a little less coverage. This is a little more coverage. This is a little shinier, sheenier, glowier, whatever you want to say. They are ever so slightly different, but in future I probably won't ever pick up the Charlotte Tilbury again. I don't wear foundation that often, and when I do want something a bit more of a base, then this is going to do the job of coverage that I need it to do. If I need a little bit more coverage, if I want to look a little bit more glam, if you want to say, a bit more full beat, whatever the kids are saying nowadays, I don't know, then this will do the job from e.l.f. And there we go, that is both sides of my face done. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see my skin close up, because I know sometimes that's really important in a video like this. Alright, so as you can see here, this is my skin kind of zoomed in. You still can see my skin through the product I've put on. It's not taken away. As you can see, the coverage on this side isn't as much, but it maybe is a little sheenier. But this is still beautiful. This has still got such a nice glow to it. I feel like this colour might be a little off for me, but I feel like once I put bronzer and blusher and all that kind of stuff on, it just melds into my skin. It's fine, it looks really good. I bring it down my neck, all that kind of stuff, it's alright. I think at the moment it maybe looks a little yellow in this area, but I think that this product is wonderful and they are really, really good kind of dupe for each other. They're not identical. You might still want to own both, but this is really, really nice. This is a great product. You can mix this with blusher to make it a glowy blush. You can add this to a moisturiser to make it a little bit more of a tinted moisturiser. You can obviously do that stuff with the Charlotte Tilbury as well, but this I believe is £14, which obviously is substantially less than the Charlotte Tilbury. Alright, so seeing as we have you kind of zoomed in a little bit again, I'm going to go in with concealer. So I picked up this one from Rimmel in the kind of orange bottle, which is the Radiance range, the Radiance foundation that I used to like. And this one is in shade Soft Beige, so we shall see. Now I've just put a little bit of that on my hand there because when I am doing my concealer, I tend to pinpoint conceal rather than stick it right underneath my eyes. Now this colour is a little dark for me, I'm not going to lie. This is a little yellow. That's my error. If I bought it in a lighter shade it might be absolutely fine. I think it is okay though. I think as well, looking in the mirror rather than on the camera, that it's a little bit heavier than I'm used to, but it's not bad. I think it's still a nice concealer, it's fine. And on this side I am going to use the Shiseido Synchro Skin, and the colour I have is it 201 in light. And again I'm just working that into my brush before I go onto my skin and just bringing it into the areas that I feel I need it. And there we go. I think, yeah, this side definitely is looking a little bit more natural colour. This is looking a little yellow, but again, very, very good match so far. Not bad. Okay, let's move on to blush now. Obviously I've got a very, very dark, heavy eye on, so I wasn't sure what blush I was going to put on. So I've picked up the two of these from 17. This is their liquid blush, and one is in deep pink and the other one is in soft peach. And I picked out from my kind of higher end stuff, this is the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in Ballet Slippers, which is probably going to be the dupe I use for the soft peach. And this one here from Rare Beauty, which is a different form of blush, but this might be a good match for that hot pink colour, or deep pink colour, sorry. So I'm gonna start out with the peachy colour, because as I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to go here with colour with the eye being so dark. You could absolutely do a nice hot pink blush and it would look super 80s and maybe pretty cool, but I thought let's go peachy first and then see where we go from there. So this is a 17 one on this side, and actually, ooh, that's pretty. It's very subtle, very, very subtle. If you followed me for any length of time you might know I quite like a strong blush, but that's pretty. I like that. Ooh, that's quite pretty. Okay, so I think looking at that, actually the Danessa Myricks one is not going to be a good match, so I'm going to pull out Glossier, and this is Glossier Dusk, and see if I can put that on the other side to see if it will match a little bit. It's not a bad match. I would say the Glossier is a little darker, a little tanner, a little browner maybe than the peach. This is a little bit more orange, the Glossier is a little bit more brown, but they are not a bad match actually. I actually really, really like these little blushers from 17. I think they're really, really good. I've used the pink one a number of times now. That's the first time I've used the peach one. Now I'm actually going to go into the Rare Beauty blush here. This is Rose, is it something? Nearly Rose, on a little stippling brush, and I'm just going to add a little flush of colour to the front of my face, and I am then going to do the same but with the 17 blush on that. This is stronger. This one is definitely stronger. I'm gonna have to go in with more of the Bare Beauty on this side now, annoyingly. There we go. So, I think, yeah, I like all of those. I think they're all great. I think, you know, I love glossy cloud paints. I really, really like the Rare Beauty one. I like. I prefer the liquid version, but these from 17 are really, really good. Really, really like them. Think they're wonderful. I am going to add on a little bit of bronzer now. So on this side, I'm going to take just a little bit of the bronzer from Physicians Formula because it is a drugstore bronzer. But what I will say is that this isn't necessarily a cheap bronzer. You can get cheaper bronzers. I just haven't really tried any drugstore bronzers for quite some time. I have got two Vive bronzers. I've got a Kiko one, I've got NARS Laguna, I've got this one, I've got lots of liquid bronzers as well. So I didn't want to pick up a new kind of budget range bronzer just for the sake of trying it. So I thought I may as well use that. You can pick it up in the drugstore. And on this side, I am going to use Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Film Star Bronze and Glow. And I'm going to take that on this side for my bronzer. This is definitely a slightly more cool toned bronzer, but the Physicians Formula in just the bronze shade I find is quite a light bronzer as well. It's not super duper orangey. Well, this is pretty, this is lovely. It's a nice product, but this is amazing. This is hands down fantastic. What I am gonna try and do now is put on a little bit of highlight to the cheeks, and obviously I'd picked this up. Now this is a pencil. This is the thing I was saying, is quite a difficult find at the drugstore, to find like a creamy, liquidy highlight situation. So I'm just gonna run this on my finger, and I'm gonna kind of lightly tap it across the top of the cheek here. I've just, see when I've done that, I've lifted off some of my blusher. So that pencil in that manner doesn't really work. So as I say, there's a million highlighters you can use for powder in the drugstore, but finding one that's like a liquid one in the drugstore I've really, really struggled with. I think Sleek had one too that was like an actual liquid, but it was very, very golden, and I thought no. So on this side I'm going to take the Rare Beauty one, and again just put a little bit on my finger, tap it off on my hand, and then I'm just going to pop some on the top of my cheek. And I'm just going to do this across the bowl because I don't have a drugstore option. I love a glowy, dewy, super duper sweaty highlight on the cheeks, so I can't seem to find that at the drugstore. And finally, lips. What I'm going to be using is this. This is from Rimmel, and this is Spice, their Lasting Finish lip liner. I think this is very, very nice. I think this is really, really good. It's a very soft pencil. It's a lovely colour as well. What can I say? It's lovely. On this side, I'm going to use one of the Vive ones. Now, this is a darker lip liner, but I didn't have an exact match from a high-end brand. I had other matches in indie brands and things like that, but none in the high-end spectrum, so that's not too bad. This one's a little browner on this side, but not too bad. Now for a lip colour, I'm going to be taking this from NARS. This is Roseland, and it's one of their Velvet Lip Glides. I don't know if they still do this colour. I think they still make Velvet Lip Glides, not entirely sure. And it is a kind of pink colour, but it's a natural, kind of more mauvey, your lips but better kind of pink colour. It's not super duper pink. It's more of a nude pink. And I really enjoy these. I think they're very, very nice. I don't know if they still make these. I've had mine a very long time. And I picked this up from Rimmel. This is the Stay Satin Liquid Lip Colour, and this is the shade Yuppie. I thought this would be close. I'm starting to think this is going to be a lot more pink. This side is a little pinker. This side is a little bit more pink. But again, like, what can I say? Very, very good, very similar. Will they dry down the same? I always felt like these were very, very comfortable. I would have to get back to you and let you know. I'll do a monthly roundup, obviously, of what that looks like. But let's just finish it there. Let's just end it there. I have to say, considering one side of my face is very kind of either high-end or luxurious products, and the other side of my face is all budget beauty products, all things that you can get in the drugstore. Really? Like, is there... I'm just saying, I'm not saying that the longevity of them, or that this side is crap, this side is better, or this side is crap, or this side is better. But it's really important to remember to mix and match your makeup. Don't feel the need that you need to run out and buy because everybody else has. You know, if you think, and equally, don't think you have to run out and buy this because everybody else has. Only mugs like me are like, well, I want to try that one too, because you know, people like me who are super duper makeup geeks, yeah, fair enough. Like, I love this shit. This is my bread and my butter. I say that like it's my job. It's not my job, I promise you. But it's something that I am passionate about, and I love talking about lots of different kinds of formulas. I love the textures of things. I love the finish of things. That's why I essentially talk about it. But what I will say is, in this current climate, don't just go and buy something because you see somebody using it and they're like, oh my god, you need this. Do you need it? What do you have already that you think it could do the same? Or if you do fancy the look of something, like, I am never going to fault the Bodyography glitter pigments. Never. I think they are absolutely beautiful. I like Bodyography as a brand. They are fantastic. I would absolutely die if they put me on their PR list because their stuff is just gorgeous. If you're not in a position to buy Bodyography, it's a quite expensive product. If you're not in that position, or you think, do you know what, I'm going to save up and buy one because I really want to treat myself, then that's fine. Treat yourself. But also, if you think like, oh, do you know what, I've got one in blue, I really want to do a green eye look, then do you need to go for Bodyography first? Not necessarily. Go into Boots and see what they've got, because I'm telling you right now, this is the blue version obviously, and it's given a nice finish. It's similar. It's very similar. I don't think if you put this on its own, it's going to look like this. This is a different beast. It's a powder. It's a completely different product. But you can get a similar finish from products that are not necessarily as expensive. This one versus this one, and again, I love these from Glossier, can't say a bad word about them. I think they're £15 each and you can buy two for 25. This right here, £4. £4. So if you're someone who's never tried a liquid blush, let's just say, you've never tried them, you see people talking a lot about them and you think, that's something I'd quite like to try, but I've never really liked a liquid blush before, I've never liked a cream blush before. Why are you running to buy the one that costs 15 quid? Go and try one that costs £4, and you know what? If you start using this and you're using it regularly and you use it every day of the week and you're like, do you know what, I love this, then go ahead, look at other brands. The Rare Beauty liquid blushes are really, really beautiful as well, but equally quite expensive. So try things from other brands, see how you can get them to work for you. And I'll tell you something else. See if you're in a position that you are buying things such as this, Charlotte, Chanel, all that kind of stuff, and you're putting yourself into debt, stop. Stop. I am saying that to you as someone who loves makeup. I do not buy things and put myself into debt. I do not do that. My bills are paid, I have a roof over my head, and there is food in my freezer. So, if you are finding yourself, and I'm saying this as well, not only to people who love watching me, but especially to anybody who is young out there, because I feel like in the world at present, it's very easy for people to be scrolling on their phone, be easily influenced, but also I know what it's like to be 20 and to want to have the things people have. I lived in London when I was 20 and I desperately wanted to fit in. I desperately wanted to have the things that other people had because I thought it would make me more accepted. And let me tell you right now, it won't. It will put you into debt and it will make you then have to pay that debt later on in your life. And I'm telling you right now, it isn't worth it. Don't do it. Anyway, I think that is where we'll leave it. I'm sorry if I became a bit of a nag there at the end, but I just feel that I've got this little bit of a moral compass in me that it needs to be said. It really does. I can sit on here and chat about all the makeup and skincare in the world. I can. I do not want it to come across like as if you need all this stuff. You don't. I'm fucking mental for having all this stuff. That is the absolute truth. It's my hobby. My other half, he quite likes to go climbing up mountains. If you've got a hobby that you really like and you want to spend a bit of money on it because it's something you enjoy, then that is up to you and what you do. But a hobby should never start to encroach into your financial situation and then start taking over your life. But also, I would hate to think that anybody I know is putting themselves into any debt, regardless of their age, just to do this. Beauty should be something that everybody can get involved in, and it doesn't matter whether you're picking up your £4 blusher from 17 or you're picking up an expensive one from Danessa myricks. If you enjoy beauty and you love playing, you will get this to work for you the way you want it to. That's the honest truth. You will. You'll get it to do it. So, as I said, I have really rambled on now. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's probably been a lot longer than intended, but I hope I've kind of got my point across. I hope you really like the look. I hope you see that you can do with both sides. And I will see you all again soon in the next one. Bye.